Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the official Rick and Morty fan podcast. Oh, man. Today we have two special guests, special to our hearts. Their names are Sam and Luke. Say hello.
Hi, I'm Sam. I coughed up blood earlier today.
Hey, Luke.
I haven't left my room all summer.
Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
My name's Sam. I'm as old as Ethan is.
How old
He's
is that?
also
15. I'm also thick. I play guitar, and I'm prettier than Gus.
Impossible.
But well,
I
I'm
have to
thicker.
agree with
Fake
Gus
news.
here. I don't
Fake
think it's
news.
possible to be prettier than Gus.
You're right. I don't have the hair yet.
Exactly.
All right, this podcast is brought to you by Diet Coke ASMR.
What is them?
All right, let's get right into this. Last time we talked about how I didn't like Skyrim, The Elder Scrolls 5, right?
And now,
Now we have now we have someone who's played over 120 hours of Skyrim in the last 2 weeks. That's 8 hours a day for 2 weeks straight. Luke, why don't you talk to us a little bit about Skyrim?
It did.
isn't it like 600 hours total, do you think? Your total Skyrim playtime.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like 600 hours.
I'll check your hours
That's
right
so
now on
bunso.
Steam.
I mean, I thought I played a lot of Skyrim. I guess not.
You're too thick to do anything, Sam.
He's so
Except look
thick he
pretty.
can't even move.
Wait, so if he was too thick to do anything, then shouldn't he be playing more Skyrim?
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah,
No,
that's where your
he can't.
logic
All
is
he can
flawed.
do
He
is
physically can't.
stream. He can podcast.
He
That's
get-
it.
we had
Yeah.
to airlift him in because he's so thick.
He's a blimp.
We just
idiot.
have a cord running like 100 miles.
All right.
I'm actually
on,
in like a air hangar right now.
I'm on Luke's Steam account here. Let's see.
What's the official
Games.
number?
You have 17
Let's
games.
let's all take guesses on how much it is first.
All right. Gus, how many hours do you estimate Luke has into Skyrim
Just on Steam or
It's like
Xbox too?
1,000.
on Steam?
560 hours.
Oh, what do you think, Sam?
556 hours.
What do you think, Luke? How many hours do you think you have?
It's around like 600.
All right, the
How
correct
much?
answer is 567 hours.
I was like,
I was close.
you were actually really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like 560.
I can get into the mind of a common degenerate.
Yeah.
Looks like you also have played 10 hours of Life is Strange. Isn't that a weeb game?
No,
Luke.
that game's dope. You were over one time and I was on like that scene
Yeah.
where that chick killed herself and you're like,
Hey, spoilers!
Oh.
What is that game about?
well, it's not an important character like at all. It's in, like the first season. It's this about this chick who finds out she can time travel, and like the world's ending in like a week, and her friend's really edgy. And that's about it.
I thought that was a game for girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like okay. When I was younger, there was this specific lady that I used to play Minecraft with, and her name was Diamond Wolf 9000.
Yeah, I used to, because she lived in the UK, so we would have to stay up.
Yeah, we either had
late.
to play like before noon or after 9 o'clock. at
Yeah.
night. So, I remember the first time I was like, "Yo, this is Ellie," and you were like, "Are you a boy?" And you were being so mean because like she had like the accent, and I don't know. I guess she sounded like a male to you, and
She
you're
hot?
like.
I think
She's
I
like,
remembered that.
I'm a boy. I mean, she's like, I'm a girl, and
Minecraft
you're like,
is for
no,
boys."
you're a boy. You're catfishing my boy Ethan. And this was all like many years ago.
What's that one guy who does the catfish show?
How to catch it.
How to Catch a
Yeah,
Predator?
but what's his name? Yeah.
Uh,
Chris
Chris
Hansen.
Hansen?
Yeah, Chris Hansen. I was trying to be Chris Hansen. For
Why don't
my
you have a
boy.
seat over here?
Minecraft is for the boys only.
The funny boys.
All right. I want to talk about Minecraft for a little bit.
Minecraft's fun.
All right.
Yeah, I think Minecraft has a bad rep because,
Well, because like kids play it.
yeah, you know,
Child's game.
but kids play Call of Duty, and that also
Minecraft
has a
is
bad
an
rep,
art
so that's a
form.
bad example.
Cool.
Minecraft is not a game; it's
Well,
an art
just
form.
it's just because of like the retards that make Minecraft porn, and it's like we're gonna meme on Minecraft now because these idiots.
You know what I think is an interesting thing about that though?
What?
Like, cause remember when we used to play Minecraft? Like, there would
Stop
always
breathing
be
into
some
the mic,
guy
dude.
who's like, just like joking and like putting two beds together and be like, "Let's have sex." and now,
And
it's
now
turned
he's-
into
now
like
he's
a
making-
full fetish. So I think like little kids
Are there actually like
saw our memes and then they're like, "Oh my god, that's hot."
Minecraft porn?
Yeah,
Minecraft
that a- is
porn
that
is
real?
art.
it's so like a weird thing to be into though, because they're
It's-
just little blocks. They're like block people.
And it
Well,
you
okay.
gotta know it's made by preteens.
Well,
Right.
Where
no,
like I'm really into Minecraft. My sexuality is budding as a preteen.
I
and-
want both at
Oh,
the
yeah.
same time.
it's either if you watch it, you're either a kid or like an autistic 40-year-old. Like,
What
that's-
if you're both?
a 40-year-old kid. Oh, there's some.
Or you're
ASMR.
just curious.
Like you, Sam.
Let's talk creepypastas, because Sam suggested that to me. I think I've got a tab open on my phone. Will you guys talk about why creepypastas are suck?
My favorite
Well-
one is Sonic.exe.
Actually, that's one I sent to Ethan.
Yeah, that's one of them.
I have one on my phone that I couldn't get you the link to. Do you mind if I read it at some point?
Yeah, here's a great creepypasta.
All right.
Creepypasta
Now,
is
getting
This
back.
is an extreme example of a bad creepypasta.
Yeah,
but-
getting back to the point on why creepypastas suck so much is because
They're all trying so hard, you know?
to be,
Like,
Yeah.
really
if you're a
edgy.
good writer, you're not writing creepypastas. You're writing actual books.
Yeah. Well, the thing about creepypasta is the whole like creepypasta means it's just like an internet horror thing. So some
Yeah.
guy you already knew some guy made it up.
Are you guys
even
on-
with like the new It movies coming out? Like everybody knows it's not real, but there's still like nobody specifies if it's like not real or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it could,
Have you
Who
ever?
knows? Maybe there was a clown who
Are any
like,
of you guys on Reddit?
raped Stephen
I
King.
I was for like 2 days.
Did you ever go on the subreddit No Sleep?
I did not.
It's basically all creepypastas, but they're higher tier. Like
Oh.
they're better creepypastas.
Well, it's a cool idea, but it gets ruined by like the 12-year-old edgelord.
Yeah, and I remember when we were 12, we would sit in your room, Luke, and I would read creepypastas out loud to everybody, and you guys would be like, "Ooh!"
I used to be so easily scared by everything, and now I just want to be scared because I enjoy just spooky, I enjoy spooky things like the auditory like stories is like now evolved to people like Be Busta, Corpse Husband, and they do just the
And
audio stories. The like
That's
the
what I like.
real ones.
I walked
Yeah.
up to the upstairs cupboard.
Can we talk about like people that think they can do like scary readings, but they have like autistic voices, and they just like ruin the entire thing. You can't watch them.
All right,
When
Ethan.
B
Let me
Busta
read a
started
little-
streaming Overwatch, it completely ruined it for me. Because now I just know he's like this old dad who lives in
plays
Australia.
ghosts.
And is,
I don't
like,
even know
narrating this stuff.
B Busta.
wears like a hat, like all.
Yeah.
You have to talk
Wears a
into the
hat
mic.
all the
you
Like
know.
it was so much better when I was just like, oh, this dude's creepy. He's in Australia. People are crazy there.
Whenever I hear a YouTuber
Can
and
you-
I don't know what they look like, I just assume they're some like skinny nerd with glasses.
All right, I'm gonna quickly read a masterpiece in my opinion. It's called "Who Was Phone."
Oh,
Okay, so basically it's like this. You are at a friend's house for the night or whatever, and then you guys are making out on the couch,
That happens to me all the time.
Wait,
and then it says, yeah, in parentheses. And then, like, her dad calls on the phone and says, no, she likes it more if you use the other hand, ... yeah. And you're all like, oh, dude, your dad is trying to give me advice on how to diddle you. And she's like, I don't have a dad, or whatever. But what? Who was phone? That doesn't even seem like a
Was it
creepypasta.
just-
That
was
seems like a
that it
punchline.
summed up?
Sounds like
Ethan,
somebody.
Can you come up with the whole creepypasta on the spot?
Yeah, didn't Sleepycast do that? They like went around in a circle and told.
Yeah,
the
they're
creepypasta.
like-
I think the funniest thing is like with all the anything that involves video games, there's always like some hyper realistic.
Yeah.
It's like hyper realistic Sonic was staring back at me.
Guys, guys, Hero Brian's real though.
Don't talk into the mic like that. It
Hero
sounds
Brian's real.
All right, let's
We
tell like
should
a little,
we should go around and do that. We
Yeah,
should
let's
all
talk a
make
little-
up, like
Oh.
the, what's that? the cranberry eggs.
We'll do a Minecraft Hero
Cadbury
Brian.
cream eggs.
We'll do a Minecraft Hero Brian creepypasta.
All right.
Is that cool with you guys?
Yeah.
All right, I'll start it out.
No, it's
Which
just
way are we
all-
going? Which way are we
It's
going?
like what you remember in like 8th grade when we learned about the Cadbury tales or whatever, where everybody has to go around and tell their own story, and
Yeah.
then the winner gets a big meal.
We did that last year, and mine was gonna be so awesome, and I got to this like normie, and they ruined it.
You were like, "Are we gonna watch the Cadbury cream tale?"
Cadbury cream.
All right, boys. Let's
All right, let's start this. Creepypasta about Hero
go.
Brian.
I'm gonna start this off.
Go.
I'm gonna go. When I was 11,
Wait, we should have something. If we should
I'm gonna
have
tell
a winner
you.
or something, then the winner gets something, or the
No,
loser.
I'm just gonna
loses
tell a
something.
couple sentences and then move to you, and then we're gonna go around
The winner gets
in a
praise.
circle.
All right,
I'm gonna-
gotta get the clout goggles
Louder.
on.
Once upon a time, I was 11, and I had just saved up enough money to buy the actual digital copy of Minecraft for the PC. I was so excited. I was so excited, I wet myself. I hyper-realistically wet myself. It was so realistic that it didn't even look real. Anyway, I hopped on my mommy's MacBook Pro, and I hopped on Minecraft.net, and I downloaded the game. I typed in her credit card, and she was like, all right, you can buy it, because I paid her the cash. And then I loaded up Minecraft.
So, once I get into Minecraft, I see the 5 bars of doom: single player, multiplayer, Minecraft realms.
No, this is when we were 11, so there can't be Minecraft realms yet.
Realms don't exist.
I saw the 5 pillars of doom: single player, multiplayer, languages, and options. I started up. Wait. I'm not done yet. So, I start up a single player game. I click create the game, and I start up my adventure into Minecraftia. While I was walking and digging holes and chopping trees and crafting things, I found a hole in a tree.
A pre-made hole?
I was confused by this interesting looking hole. I let my curiosity get the best of me.
You're telling it perfectly, but it's too funny.
I ventured down the hole, and to my surprise, what I found were chests full of ore. But the blocks, they spelled something.
in the chest?
I had trouble reading it because I'm 11. But eventually, I figured out they spelt hero. I was like, hero? What could that mean? So I decided to take a look in the second chest. And the second chest said Brian. It took me a while that these two words were one word, and it said Hero Brian. I pissed my pants.
For the second time that day.
Second time.
Hyper realistically.
I went to the Minecraft forums and I looked up Hero Brian. I don't know. What could this possibly mean?
Get out of there.
I didn't find a single thing about this Hero Brian. Nothing. Not a thing. I decided to just forget about it and go back into my Minecraft game. I decided to leave the hole, go back to the normal world, continue my digging and adventures. Throughout the day in Minecraft, after getting wood and stone, I built myself a house.
And then I heard my mom call from the kitchen. It's dinner time. And then you have homework to do. And then it's off to bed, mister. And then I went and I ate dinner. We had lasagna. Hyper-realistic lasagna. And then my mom, she made me do my homework, and I could swear that in the corner where it says write my name in Comic Sans, Hero Brian was already written. I quickly shook it off, and then I finished my homework and went to bed. In the middle of the night, I heard my closet open, and there he was, hyper-realistic Hero Brian. And then I wet the bed.
For the third time that
And then
day.
Hero Brian came out of the closet and started throwing eggs at me.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
All right. It was all a bad dream. The part about Hero Brian, and I woke up the next day and I was excited to play some more Minecraft, but something was about to go horribly wrong. I was slightly deterred by my nightmare about Hero Brian the night before.
Aroused.
It aroused my curiosity.
So, I logged back into my Minecraft world, and the first thing I saw was my dirt shack I had built the night before. It looked the same as I had left it, but something seemed a little off. It seemed a bit more sinister. I walked into the shack, and I saw a sign on the wall. The sign said,
Eat more vegetables, kiddos.
because everybody knows that Hero Brian is a supreme vegan.
I screamed
Bing bong.
and I said, vegetables are scary.
No, I don't want to eat my vegetables.
You can't make me.
Then I heard a noise, not in Minecraft, but in real life. The noise had come over by my closet. I turned around very quickly to see what it was, and then I saw an egg sitting there.
I waltzed on over to the egg.
And then my mom came into my room with the wooden spatula and beat the shit out of me. And I wet my pants.
For the fourth time that day. My mom said, "You are grounded, mister. No more Minecraft for you."
And you must eat vegetables.
I said, "Mom, if it makes you feel better, I will eat more vegetables." And she, and she said, "No, you're not getting yourself out of this one so easy, mister. You're gonna have to be grounded from Minecraft for 3 days." And
And I said, man, what the frick?
I said, "Mom, I'll kill myself. She said, I don't give a shit about you.
You were an accident.
You guys were clipping the mic so hard.
I'm sorry.
I said, Mom, I'll kill myself if I have to stop playing Minecraft for 3 days. And she said, so be it, and left my room. But 1 second before she walked out of my room, she looked back, and her eyes were white, like Hero Brian.
Guys,
I closed my eyes. I wanted this nightmare to end, but I opened my eyes and looked over. And the egg was still there.
I took
The
it up.
end. Oh,
No, it's over. It's over.
it's all over now. All right, what are we talking about?
All right, okay.
We gotta talk about Undertale, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Kids.
Basically, what I was saying about Undertale earlier is it's a good game, but so many people are deterred from playing it because of the poor fan base, and it's a lot like games like Five Nights at Freddy's, which is not a very good example because it's not a good game, but just because. What are you looking up?
Why?
What are you doing here? I've come to kick ass.
What is the point?
Look up Crunky. Look up Crunky Bar.
Back to a
What?
billion now.
Yeah, let's get back to Five Nights
Yeah,
at
we should
Freddy's and
probably-
Undertale.
Okay.
Oh right, so Undertale. I played it. I bought it. It was on sale, I think, and I played it. I played like probably I don't know, maybe a quarter of it, and it was a good time. It was an alright game, and I was so surprised because I had built it up to be like this horrible children's game. It wasn't terrible. That's really all I have to say on this subject.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times people get so mad at like these kids, and it's understandable because a lot of times it is really cringy, but at the same time they're just kids. Like you can't, like they don't really know what they're doing, and they're just enjoying themselves. So you know.
I also want to say,
get that mad at them.
don't judge a book by its cover. What are you watching?
Breaking into the world's most protected Minecraft house.
I look over at Gus's computer and he's on YouTube.
It aroused my curiosity. But I'm curious.
You don't get to be curious.
Well, describe the video.
Okay, so
Well,
there-
he has a face cam.
So
Oh,
hey, let's jump forward until he's actually breaking into the world's most protected Minecraft
I
house.
feel like this podcast is based off of Minecraft. Too
The
much.
Secret Service is gonna come
Wait,
after him.
let's
Let's try and not talk about Minecraft for us
Alright,
for
I'll
a
turn
little
it
bit.
Wait, I wanna know if they actually get in first though.
Gus.
All right.
Okay, it
You know what?
doesn't look like they got in. Okay.
You know what else is kind of. Sorry. You know what else is kind of funny?
What?
Video game parodies.
Oh yeah.
I know like Minecraft parodies are a lot. I said we would stop talking about Minecraft, but it's sort of different because it involves music.
Hypocrite.
It's there's some good Minecraft parodies out there, and by that I mean they're
Digging Minecraft style.
by that I mean they're high quality, they're well produced, like you know, like they sound good. But then have you ever seen what's his name? It's like Super Minecraft Kid, right?
Yeah.
It does the Take On Me Minecraft parody.
I love that kid.
Mining. Oh man.
I feel like a parody should be funny.
Yeah.
And
That
use
is
like
funny.
these Minecraft parodies and like other video game parodies. They aren't that funny.
Well, there's like bad bad video game parodies, and then there's good ones like the Warp Zone, who actually like put time into their stuff and don't just make a sigh in Minecraft. Mining away. Sing about pigs.
So I just looked up the definition of parody, and It says an imitation of the style of a particular writer, artist, or genre with deliberate exaggeration for comic effect.
So singing isn't a
So,
parody.
well, they're supposed to be funny. It's not like you're doing a cover.
Yeah.
But then, like, these aren't even meant to be funny.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, if you don't... So, like, if you play in a band
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you're starting
We
out,
play in a band.
you're doing
Mhm.
covers.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much what you're doing. Maybe some originals. But they're not funny. They're just the song.
Yeah.
And
Right
maybe
on.
you change it up to have your own style a little bit. But
Get off
it's not-
Instagram.
That's not like a parody. They're two different things. And what these like Minecraft and video game parodies, they're supposed to be. They should be called covers.
That just makes it
Yeah.
extra embarrassing for Minecraft parodiers, is because they're just making Minecraft into
Are you
a
really?
song.
Look at this. Yeah, the word definition is it's a humorously exaggerated imitation of a writer or artist or song.
So yeah, it just makes it extra embarrassing.
So-
they're not parodying it; they're just making a Minecraft.
They're just
themed
changing the
song.
words, and that's actually weird because I never even knew that that wasn't what parody meant. So what are they doing?
Well, right. They should be saying that they're doing covers because if it was a parody, then they would be trying to make it funny. Like, I guess you could say, like, the Eye of the Spider was a parody because it's like a kid going, I got the Eye of the Spider.
But he's parodying.
He's singing.
He's if you
Play
were looking at that
Minecraft.
as a parody, it would be him doing a parody of the Minecraft parody genre. If you can think that far
Well-
outside of the box.
Well, then it'd be
he's throwing heat on the entire Minecraft parody community.
The kid's a legend.
it'd be like an opinion almost if it's a parody then, because if you find Minecraft black people singing funny, then it's a parody to you.
Let's get away from the topic of video games and Minecraft.
All right.
It's getting kind of stale.
What have you guys been listening to lately, or music-wise?
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nirvana.
That's all you ever listen
Yeah.
to.
I've been getting. I mean, I've known the Smashing Pumpkins for a long time,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I've
no,
recently just been like getting way into them more.
I don't get that. I don't think they're that good.
Yeah, I think the vocals are really annoying.
I
That's
like
not why I don't think they're very good.
What's your argument, Sam?
All right. Well, what I think is why you're like, oh, the vocals are annoying. Well, he's trying to do that. It's supposed to be grungy. It's his style of singing.
Yeah, but
It's a very
not-
unique stylistic thing, and I find it interesting, and it's just dirty, and I kind of like that.
If you listen to like Kurt Cobain or like Eddie Vedder, though, it's not like annoying. It's like raspy,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel like that's not the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Like I just don't like it that much.
All right. Different strokes, different folks.
Whatever floats your boat.
I will admit there are some Smashing Pumpkins songs that are like a lot worse than others. Like, I like the song Zero by Smashing Pumpkins, but he does do that very nasally, just singing straight out of his nose kind of thing with a lot of rasp.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand it's not for everybody. It's definitely a different style of singing than most people are used to.
Like, she's the one for me.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Well, I will say too, like right away when you were like talking about Tool all the time,
yeah.
I was like, oh man, Tool's lame. Their singer sucks. I hate it. But now, like, I've been listening to it more, and
Oh
like,
yeah, listen to Tool more too.
I kind of like the vocals now.
Yeah.
Like, I like the whole
He's-
thing together.
I
Like,
think-
it just grew on me.
Maynard is one of my favorite singers. I think he's a really, really good singer.
drank.
My boy. How did you get those so
We were
fast?
talking about why
Billy
I like Smashing
Corgan talking
Pumpkins
like
and like,
a monkey.
yeah, talking about Smashing Pumpkins vocals compared to Nirvana and Pearl Jam vocals and stuff. And
What I heard when I was walking out is you saying he's trying to sound all whiny like that. And
And
that's
like-
why I don't like it. If you have a naturally whiny voice, like you actually have the issues you're singing about, then it's different. But it sounds like he's trying to over exaggerate it a lot more than he should be, and that doesn't sound good to me.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. It's just there's a lot of. I feel like I'm kind of picky about a lot of vocalists,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like, I don't know.
Do I have permission to sing a little on this podcast?
Sure, if you want to.
So-
it's your podcast.
If I wanna sing like, I'll just sing a Smashing Pumpkins song. I'll say, "She's the one for me." Maybe it doesn't sound as grungy, but that's just the way I sing it, and that probably sounds better than me going, "She's the one for me. She's all I really need. Oh,
She's all I
yeah."
really need.
The moral of the story here is if Ethan was the singer for the Smashing Pumpkins,
It
I
would be
listen
much
to that.
better. All right.
How about it's just the Smashing Pumpkins, but Ethan is the only one in the band?
The Smashing Ethan.
Smashing Ethan.
So I'm psyched to go see Royal Blood in
What are you-
I'm so
Going to
jealous
see
that
Royal
you got
Blood?
tickets.
jealous.
Yeah, I'm seeing Royal Blood and Queens of the Stone Age.
I've also been listening to Royal Blood.
Yeah, I know
really
you've been getting into Royal Blood. I don't think you used to
I-
like it, but now I think
I always liked it. Like I thought it was. But the only, like right when you, the first time I knew about him was when you guys were like, just like a year ago. And
Well,
you guys
and no,
were
when
telling me that
He showed them to me in 6th grade. That's when we first, 6th or 7th grade is when we first got into it, and that's when he showed it to me.
Well, you guys, like I knew about it because you guys told me to learn that one song, "Out of the Black,"
Yeah.
and I was like,
so 8th grade.
all right, whatever. I guess
No,
I'll learn
I
it."
know it was before that. It was,
Se-
I guarantee
That
it's
was
like,
probably 7th grade then.
yeah, around then. So like 3
But,
years.
6th grade, I was listening to dubstep, bro. I was listening to epic dubstep.
I really like the idea, like Royal Blood. It's a new band, but it's like really good, just like rock music. Like I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if somebody's gonna bring back rock music, it's gonna be guys like that.
Save rock
And their
and roll.
drummer is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I was at the place I take drum lessons,
Yep.
and then I was just waiting, and there's like this drum magazine, and it had Ben Thatcher.
Yeah.
And I just read the whole thing. Like I love their drummer.
Yeah.
He's an amazing guy, and he's really smart about his parts.
He responded to one of Ethan's tweets before.
Ben
Yeah, he
Thatcher?
told me
Yeah.
that.
You asked him where he was born, right? And he was like, Jerusalem.
Goosebump.
Yeah. I was like, "Where were you born?" He's like, "Jerusalem."
Hey, Gus, your mom at Northern Invasion. Well, here's a different modern band called the Struts. If you don't know who they are, they're pretty amazing. They're pretty good.
My mom, we saw them, and my
This
mom was
sucks.
like, "Oh, these guys are really good." And then when we were walking to like a different thing, then we met back up with like my mom like a couple hours later, and then she was like, "Look, guys, I took a selfie with the Struts."
Yeah, they were just in
And
the
we were just
crowd, and
like,
she was standing next to
"What?"
them.
They were in the crowd?
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't she
What?
show you that?
No,
Yeah.
she didn't. But how are they in the crowd without getting, like, touched? Like, just the fact alone that they're
Because it was the
famous.
bass player and the drummer.
Oh, they- well, just the fact that they were
I was
on
kidding.
stage
Wait, what are you
makes
talking
me want
about?
to touch them.
On the first day of Northern Invasion, after we watched the Struts, the bass player and the drummer went into like the crowd to watch other bands, and Gus's mom was just hanging in the crowd. She's like, "Oh, hey, look, it's the." She was standing right next to the bassist and the drummer of the Struts, and then she took a picture with them.
She said hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
and like we would have seen them if we were with Dana, but we went somewhere else.
Just the basic
I wanna
facts.
talk about Pink Floyd now.
I've
I'm
been
wearing the
listening
shirt
to
right
Pink
now,
Floyd
B.
too.
Pink Floyd can be really pretentious if you make it.
I was born in the
Oh,
wrong
I
generation.
don't listen to your pop music. I listen to Pink Floyd and old music because I'm cool and edgy.
Well, I think on our last podcast we were talking about how like people wearing Pink Floyd shirts because they look cool,
Yeah.
or
Thoughts?
yeah.
Fre-
And
fresh
we also talked about how if you're like, do you listen to Pink Floyd? Then you're probably a douche.
To be completely honest, like I've been, like I love Pink Floyd, and like I feel like
They're a great band.
you almost like this is a useless because of me saying this because I love 70s stuff so much. It's like my favorite bands are like Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix and Cream and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I just like this psychedelic. Like if you listen to like Pink Floyd's earlier albums,
Yeah.
it's almost even more like psychedelic than.
Can you
Dark Side
name
of the
5
Moon.
songs by Pink Floyd?
But it's like when you say psychedelic now, I feel like you just think of like Tool. Like that's what everybody just thinks of,
Really?
and it's just not.
You want to see? You want
I
to
feel
talk
like
about
it's not even-
psychedelic? Have you
it's
guys
like
listened
metal.
to? Have you guys listened to Butthole Surfers?
No, I haven't. Actually.
That's the
I'm
trippiest band I've
flying.
listened to.
Listen to
Yeah.
Listen to you.
But I just wish like a band would come back. Like I wish that whole like psychedelic feel would come back.
well,
Well,
that,
Jimi
Yeah,
Hendrix and
that's
stuff?
the thing. Is like Jimi Hendrix. I saw an interview with Prince, and this is coming from Prince, who he could play guitar really, really good. And I actually saw this when I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It was an interview with him, and he was like, there was only one of Hendrix, and it would like nobody's ever going to be as good as Hendrix again, and it would be a shame to try. I'm like, he was hugely inspired by Hendrix, and he could play guitar really good. So, and that's coming from him. So
I
you know what I'm saying?
believe it's not being like nobody's gonna be as good as Hendrix. Nobody's gonna be Hendrix.
Yeah.
But there might be somebody along the line eventually who's as good or better.
We can
But
pray.
nobody's ever gonna be Hendrix.
Yeah.
Well-
Somebody's gonna come out with their own thing.
the thing
That's
that
just better than Hendrix.
Here is something you might find interesting.
Okay.
If someone could read your mind, and like if someone could look into your mind and look at every thought you've ever had, what would be the worst thing they'd find?
I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, I don't think we should say that either. How about you?
Okay.
How about you go?
Do you ever are you ever sitting and like thinking to yourself and you're like man, I could use a fap right now, and then you're like, wait, what if someone's reading my mind at this very
Oh
moment?
my god, yeah,
And then
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you're thinking it and you go and you think to yourself, if anybody is reading my mind, fuck you.
Okay, listen. Yes, I do that all the time. Listen, you know what makes me think that is I'll think something like, oh, when I get home, I'm gonna nut. But then somebody looks, but listen.
But then someone looks
but
at you?
Somebody looks at me right after I have that thought, and I'm like, oh my god, they're reading my mind. And I'm like, and then I just like stare at them, and I'm like, if you're reading my mind, kill yourself.
That reminds me of like when you're home alone. Does anyone else do this where you like talk out loud? You're like, if there's anyone here, I know you're here. Now go.
Literally, none of that has ever happened to me once.
Really?
You're not a normal person.
Well, I've definitely never
maybe you-
looked at some guy and been like,
Are you reading my mind?
get the fuck out of my brain, you asshole.
I've had thoughts where if some
Ethan, you're gonna have to bleep it.
That's fine. Just,
I've
just
had
keep it
thoughts where
to a
like
minimum.
I've had moments where people were like talking to me and they're like a year younger than me and they're like and then I get the thought where I'm like I could probably kill you right now.
But you couldn't, because you're a...
Hey, who thinks they could beat up George R. R. Martin?
I feel like he
The
would, like,
fat guy who wrote Game of Thrones.
Oh no, I could kick his ass.
I think he would just roll over you and you would
He'd
die.
just like use fancy words and I'd go home.
yeah.
He's a writer.
I think he would beat me, to be completely honest.
Nah.
Imagine this.
Yeah. Yeah, feller.
A horror story. A horror movie. But it has to be rated G. Has to be... What would you do to make a horror movie that was child appropriate?
I just like play the Dark Crystal. That movie was scary. as
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, the Dark Crystal.
What makes
What
it
is that?
G?
You don't
It's
know
like
the Dark
this,
Crystal? Okay, so it's basically okay, it's a movie from 80s-ish, around there. And it takes place in a fantasy world with like elves and these
Yeah, the
it's
bird-
so hard to explain, but everything's a puppet. It was by I'm pretty sure it was by the guy who did the Muppet, Jim Henson, right? I
Yeah.
believe it was Jim Henson. that movie as a kid terrified me. I mean, honestly, if I still watched it today, it would still probably creep me out. But it was a kid's movie. It even, like, it's just so weird and disturbing. But it is a good movie, I will say that. I found it interesting.
You
anyways.
know, what I would do is it would have to be like a kind of eerie movie, but I feel like you would have to make it so not everybody would understand the full force of like what's really going on. So there's like a really creepy subplot going on, but it really takes some thinking to realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would be the way to do it, because if you figured out the subplot, then your mind would just be blown and you'd be like, holy cow, that's some spooky stuff.
I think that a lot of stuff is really overanalyzed. You know what I mean?
No.
So like songs, especially when people are like, "What did he mean when he was writing?" it?"
Oh, this song was about me.
Like
Every song
people
ever
try and
written
take
is
this
about
super deep meaning out of every like, especially Kurt Cobain's lyrics. Kurt Cobain just wrote his songs
He just
in like
barfed
5 minutes
into
and
a
just,
bowl
oh,
and-
these 2 words rhyme.
He ate
said-
alphabet soup, then threw up into a bowl.
He did
and then-
say he didn't think about writing the lyrics like anything
Yeah.
special for Nevermind and Bleach, but he said he did it on In Utero. Like he had actual meaning.
Yeah. You can kind of tell the difference, but yeah, I definitely see what you're saying is like people completely overthink things when, yeah. I think that's why people get overrated is because people overanalyze it and they're like, oh, he's like so mysterious and they do all this. Blah, blah, blah. This means this. It's this conspiracy that means this. When really he probably, yeah, as Luke was saying, ate alphabet soup and threw it up and then wrote it down.
I feel like
Get a job.
sometimes these guys just get really lucky and then they just go with it.
Yeah.
Like if that was me, I would just like if I was Kurt Cobain and I was just like coming up with like I was just rhyming in my car, like driving
Like
to
you
some
do.
place, and then like everybody thought it was like the deepest lyrics ever. I would just be like, "Yep, I'm a genius."
Alright, I'm gonna write like Kurt Cobain style lyrics on the spot. We're gonna go.
real quick.
Alright.
Yeah, that's right. Pete.
Sam's going to the bathroom.
That
What a
kid-
disgusting
That
nerd.
kid is such a faggot.
Alright. Was there any movies you guys watched as a children that like really scared you?
Okay, I remember being probably like 3 or 4 years old. And what makes this even weirder is I have found like going back through all the stuff I had as a kid, like going back through the basement and the attic and like finding all like, oh, okay, well we can get rid of this, just cleaning stuff out. I have never found any of these old like VCR tapes and all this crap. And there was this movie we had as a kid. Like, I'm seriously, I don't even know if it was real or not because of how weird this is. But I remember watching this Hansel and Gretel movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the scariest thing. There was these boy and a girl. And I watched it, like, seriously, I watched that movie every day. And, you know, Hansel and Gretel, they're going through the woods and they come upon this, like, shack. And there's this old witch in there. And she's like, oh, eat candy. And she makes them, like, fat. And she, like, feeds him a bunch of candy. And then she's gonna cook him. And, like, she's so creepy. And then they try and cook him. And then they kill the witch. And then they just, like, leave.
Is it animated?
No, it's real. It's live action. But I don't even remember it.
2002?
That's why
Sound
people get into like.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Oh yeah, Ethan just found it.
Really?
Yeah, this looks like it.
It terrified me as a kid.
Is this it?
Oh yeah.
Freaky.
that's it.
Oh, dude, that reminds me of the
Maybe
Neverending Story.
Maybe I'll pirate it later and we can watch it.
But yeah, other movies that spooked us as kids. I didn't watch this as a kid, but The Labyrinth with David Bowie in it. That movie's spooky because it's got the scene with like these guys that look like they should be in Fraggle Rock, but they've got
Oh,
like,
I used to love that
Me
show.
too, dude. I love Fraggle Rock.
where they've got like beaks and like really creepy eyes and shit, and they're like tearing off their heads and juggling it. It's spooky.
I remember. You remember the real person remake of Cat in the Hat?
Oh my god,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
the
pretty
I
movie
was
is
so
funny as
scared of
fuck.
that, dude. I was terrified. Like, remember when they go into the box?
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
that was the part I was freaked out about because they went into the box and there was all this weird stuff and I just cried because I was so scared of it.
Monster
And I can't even
House
remember
made
what
me
was so
shit my
scared.
pants.
I never watched Monster House because
That movie
Just the trailer
is
scared
super
me.
funny when I watch it now. Because there's like this fat kid who plays basketball, and then he hits like the rim of the hoop, and it comes back and hits him in his face.
oh, what a funny.
What a
It's
fool.
actually really funny.
You know what movie
People meme
terrified
the
me?
shit out of it.
What?
When I was little, my mom made me watch Little Shop of Horrors,
Really?
and it's about like this plant that like feeds off of like,
Isn't that like funny?
blood.
Isn't it supposed to be a silly movie?
Does it have to be mine? Where am I supposed to get it?
We're gonna get a copyright strike.
Feed me, Seymour.
What was I gonna say?
You're talking about Cat in the Hat.
Can't in the Hat.
What if you just made a movie where it's about like it's like the premise of Cat in the Hat, but then they go in the box and it's just like the rest of the movie is just so trippy.
Yeah.
Then they come out of the box and it's like completely normal
The
again.
rest of
That's
the
it.
movie's just audio.
It's like that one scene in Beavis and Butthead movie where it's like they're in the desert and they like hallucinate for like the rest of the movie.
It's like it's like if if it's like Cat in the Hat, but if they took the Dr. Seuss writing all the way up till they went in the box, and then
Fire!
and then they let.
I'm the great Cornholio. I need more TV
All right.
for my bungle.
Imagine like it's the Cat in the Hat movie all the way up to the box part, and then they put the script writing duties over to the Grateful Dead.
Now I have a really good idea. Like,
Guys,
okay,
I just got the best
what
idea.
if it was like The Wall, but you know, like
Oh,
the movie?
I like that.
So then
I haven't
we
watched
started it out. So then it was like the Cat in the Hat, but then they go into the box, and then that's when the music starts, and it just gets nuts from there. Like just completely crazy. Like all this weird stuff is happening, and like it's like they're on acid.
Imagine that.
It's
Cat in
kind
the
of
Hat.
like when you sync up Dark Side of the Moon with Wizard of Oz.
That's crazy.
You're disgusting.
I know.
Boys, what do you guys think of the dab?
The Dab.
As he puts on clout goggles.
You guys like the dab?
That neat. The
Any
dabbing
game
thing?
containing dabbing will not be rated E ESRB.
Dabbing has
I
been
think-
around for too long.
You guys think you're secretly gay?
No.
Like so secret? You
Yes.
Know?
No.
Yes. Isn't that like Isn't that kind of a?
Rhetorical
Would
question.
it be rhetorical? Like because it's a secret and you don't know.
We're
but
just
you're
trying to
asking
figure
us.
out-
So how would we know? You get what I'm
We're just trying
getting
to
at?
figure out who's gay. We're hunting them down.
As far as I know, I ain't gay.
Luke, your toenail is completely.
I
blue.
know. I stubbed it on a dock, and that shit's gonna fall off. And it's gonna be
All right,
really
How
gross.
bad did it hurt?
Have you guys?
Like, what was the experience?
I so I was going into the water, and right before I went in, I hit it on the dock, and I landed in cold water, so I was like freezing while I was in like immense pain. So I was like, I'm just gonna drown myself in the pain.
Have you guys? Okay. Do you guys have any stories you've never told me?
I don't think I've told you my first Minecraft experience.
All right, wait, no, we're not talking
No,
about
we're
that.
not
right?
talking about Minecraft.
We already
I
told
really
you no.
want to tell it.
All right.
No moss.
What's the closest you've ever come to dying? Gus?
Oh, I have one. May I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, I'd like to give a shout out to my boy Janky Memes
My
out
boy.
there
Because
because he was there when this happened.
Oh, yeah, you told me.
Well,
Oh,
the
yeah.
audience doesn't know.
I told Jake,
know.
I told Jake, like, hey, dude, I made a podcast. You can check it out if you want. And he says, that sounds gay. That sounds horrible. I will never watch it.
But basically went to Willow River State Park, and you know how they have that big waterfall.
Now people are gonna dox us because they know that we live near River State Park.
Fuck.
But basically, you can if you go up the stairs and to like the really high peak, you can walk these trails where there's no like fence or gate or anything, and
Yeah.
the trail is right next to a ledge that's like at least 100 feet down.
So why were you walking on it without your bicycle helmet?
Without your parents'
Because I
permission.
didn't really think about it, but it had rained the day before and it was slippery.
Dumbass.
And I started slipping, and I grabbed a tree, and I was like a foot away from falling, like over 100 feet.
I tell you about the time I almost fell into the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Tell it
Can
again.
you stop picking at your toenail though,
It's,
Luke?
it's bothering me.
It's so disturbing.
Well,
Just put your foot down.
if you've never been to the Grand Canyon,
I have.
you would probably assume it's really hot, right? But it's chilly because the lower you get, the colder it is. And when I went there, it was like the winter months, right? So there was all kinds of ice on the trails down the Grand Canyon, and it was this trail that was like, you know, like an angle going down,
Yeah.
and then it just stops at the end, and it goes down like 3 trails. So it's like it's a big old drop, and I didn't have like any special shoes. I didn't have any I didn't have special boy shoes.
He was wearing his skateboarding shoes and
No,
he slid
I
down
was
the
like I was a
ice.
lot
His
younger. I was
soaking
wearing just
shoes.
tennis shoes, and I had my hands in my pockets like a total retard. And
Good job.
all of a sudden I slipped, and I'm sliding down the trail, and I'm looking at the edge, and I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like my hands are in my pockets, and I'm like, ah! And then all of a sudden the ice just stopped, right?
Yeah.
And I slid out on the dirt, and it was dirt, and I got scratched up, but I didn't die, so that was a good day.
Yeah,
That's
you
good.
always get that like feeling where it feels like
Spooky.
someone's punching you like 50 times at once in the chest when you're like about to die or you almost like lose a body part.
What?
That's like the crazy.
Okay, I think Luke needs to go, because
Well, it's not that interesting, but I want to talk about it more. Like when I almost lost my eye,
Oh,
Oh
like,
yeah.
you get that
That was
feeling where
nuts.
you're like, holy shit, everything's like about to get real.
Okay, so this is what happened. So one of our friends, we're not gonna name
Thick.
names here.
Friggin'
Don't name names. Okay.
Was
so
it
one of
me?
our friends
same name.
accidentally, like seriously,
I know who it is.
stabbed Luke in the eye with a pencil because they were just like messing around, and they like stabbed him in the eye. And so he's like, you were like screaming, and then I was like, what's wrong? Show me your eye. And then you were like, no, I don't want to see it.
Oh, I'm
So I
sorry.
just
I
started
almost
laughing
lost my
so
eye,
hard.
so I'm losing my shit. I don't want to see it. XD
Well,
funnymemes.com.
Okay, so
Sam-
then, because I thought you were just like being dumb.
No.
But then you like moved your hand, and your hand was just covered in blood. And I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "Go to the nurses right now."
When I was running down the hall, people were like, "What the fuck?" and
You're like bleeding out of your eye.
Yeah, and then Miss, she has B in her last name. She stopped me. And she's like, "Are you all right?" And I was like,
No!
and then I got there, and they're like, "Your eye's fine. It's just your eyelid." So then I walked back to class with just a bandage on my eye, and this asshole sitting there laughing at me as I'm walking
All
with
right.
my shit all pissed
Okay,
off.
Sam.
so this is what happened.
Yeah.
So I was like super worried that you were gonna like lose your eye, and then I got into the class, and the teacher, who I'm not gonna say their name, but
Were they like, where's Luke? And you were like,
I
don't
was like,
know.
okay, so I was like, Luke's eye was bleeding a ton, so he had to go to the nurse. His eye got stabbed, and then they were like, the teacher thought I stabbed you in the eye. So I was like, so she like freaked out at the class. She was like shouting at the class, and then she was like, everybody go sit down. See, if we have break time, then stuff like this happens. And I was like, but I didn't do it. And she was just freaking out. And then you came back, and I was like I was talking to Blake. And I was like, oh my god, what if he just loses his eye? And then he came back, and I was like, oh, hey, Patchy.
Yeah. But at that moment,
All right.
shut up.
All right, Sam.
Yeah.
Have you had any driving scares yet? Have you ever almost gotten into an accident? 'Cause I know.
I haven't really almost gotten into an accident, but I had to drive on the interstate 94, and
People are gonna dox us.
you realize that interstate
Guys,
goes
Yeah, that's the point.
we live in Texas.
We live near Hudson.
Don't.
Fun fact, we actually live near a Hudson.
Don't talk
Hudson.
so close to the
We
mic.
live in the city of England.
Anyways, I was driving on the interstate, and my mom was like yelling at me on what to do and how to drive on the interstate.
Moms,
and like,
am I right?
I mean, it's to me now thinking about it, I'm like, okay, it's pretty much just like the highway, but there's more cars, and you like just can't move over without looking over your shoulder. And she was just
You
like,
should never move over without looking.
well, yeah, no, I know, but like even like an inch is what I'm saying. You have to be really careful, obviously.
Well, if
But-
you stay in your lane.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
You
if
don't know
you're-
shit,
If
Gus.
you're going to the other lane, then you have to look over your shoulder.
I know that. I'm not a tard.
All
That's
right.
not what I'm saying.
Continue.
And yeah, she's just like yelling at me, and I'm like just trying to drive, and there's all these people changing lanes around me. She's like, "You gotta do this, you gotta do this." I'm like she's just making it worse.
Moms, am I right?
Well, she was probably just like freaking out because she was like, "My son is gonna kill us."
No, but then, but in the end, it was fine. End of story.
I feel like I have the craziest like near-death stories.
Yeah, because you got hit by a car when you were a little kid.
Yeah.
That's not even like a story. It's just you got hit by a car. Oh my god, you do the worst Seinfeld intro.
I want to learn that.
It's so bad. Do yours again.
Me?
Yeah, do yours. Now play the actual one.
Oh my god, I am really off.
If I learn that, you guys have to call me God for like.
All right, talk to me about World of Warcraft. Why do you like it so much?
Why do we like it?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Because I like to go on
I
the
first
RP
played that
servers.
game when I was 4 years old with my mom.
He's a hardcore gamer.
I mean, mostly it's like a nostalgia thing because I understand that like it's
Okay, don't tell me
nerdy
it's
game.
mostly a nostalgic thing, because if it's a nostalgia thing, you play it like twice for 10 minutes and you're like, oh, this was fun. But you have so many hours into
It's
that
like when
game.
I play banjo and kazoo.
Well,
it's not.
Can you look
Don't
up
tell me
the
that you
amount
play
of
it for the
hours you have?
nostalgia.
Okay, because the game is basically a big grind. It's a big grind. Well, it's become a big grind. I've started playing it more now because I was like, okay, it was back when I didn't have a job and I had just like nothing to do.
Fucking degenerate.
So, I was just like, all right, I have a lot of free time. I'm gonna get into this, and I'm actually gonna get good because before this, I played it like I was really bad at it. But I got a character to max level. I did all the max level stuff, and I was like, oh my god, I've never experienced max level content before. I'm gonna go see how far I can get.
level content.
So, I played through the Warlords of Draenor
No.
expansion. I did a lot of the dungeons. I did what there was to do. And then the Legion one came out.
Legion was so fun.
The start of it was really fun. And I played through all of, like, the Order Hall stuff, all that. Because there was a big storyline at the very start. But eventually, it just turned into a mega grind fest where you had to play the same dungeon over and over again to get to the next dungeon. Which is... or to play the heroic version of the same dungeon. And you have to do that to get to the mythic one. And then once you do that and you get all the gear, oh, congratulations, you can finally raid. And you're like, cool, I raid. You do the same raid over and over again until you get to the next level.
I feel like I'd have.
That's how it was
better
for me.
view on it, But the main goal is to not experience the aesthetic of the dungeon, you idiot. It's to get fat loot, dumbass.
Yeah,
just
no,
read
that's what I'm
something.
saying.
I just read something that says that if you can go on all the WoW servers and do /played,
Oh yeah.
and then you can calculate all your
But-
hours.
Yeah.
Totally, I've probably played like more than 1,000, but
Yeah.
like I played like an ass load of it, and it's really
What would be your guess
I
for
guess
hours?
Honestly, for me,
3,000,
3,000
no,
hours?
like 8,000.
in total, throughout my whole life,
8,000 hours?
in
It's
my
a 5,000-hour difference.
in my total from being like 4 years old up until even now, I would probably say like, I want to say like 2,000, probably more hours.
That's a whole lot of hours.
Yeah, it is.
Let's get
That
off
would
a
mean
while.
that you've played one whole year of World of Warcraft.
All right,
You
here's
think that's
something
true?
I want to look
One
at
whole
quick.
year of world. No, I've played like 3.
3 years?
Wait. 3
No,
whole
you're an
years.
idiot.
Shit.
You're a moron.
Fuck. I don't know.
Just drop it, Luke. You're not good at math.
Duh.
All right.
play
So if
WoW.
you didn't know, me and Sam, and I think maybe Gus used to have Minecraft Let's Play YouTube channels.
I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
All right. Well, I was thinking about ending this podcast, and that made me think of this particular video called Slender with Friends.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I think it was the last time we ever made a video, all 4 of us together.
yeah.
Until
blah.
now.
Alright, let's have a
Until
listen.
now.
We got some royalty-free music for the intro.
Royalty-free
Ethan,
music.
since it's your music, you should like put it on the podcast.
I'm gonna put a copyright claim on my own video.
Hello guys, it's Ethan playing a little Slender. Today, these are my friends. Everyone be friends.
All right. I'm gonna pause it there, but
Ass blast from the
what I was thinking of is at the very end, we had like a little like theme song for ourselves, and I forgot about it for so many
Left,
years
left.
until I watched this video again, and it all came rushing back. We thought we were the shit because we did
made a
this-
rap.
We were like,
You got so much.
all right, just how about you just have a listen to this? Where's your speaker on here?
It's on. You see the top. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
That's fine.
Squid. Yeah, that's nice. I just killed it. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure you subscribe and stuff. Hello.
There's
Hello.
lyrics saying,
Subscribe to us.
I was a fucking legend.
Wait, Sam, you have to do a song. Can you want me to?
Wait, Sam, we have to do our song.
I don't even remember like any of this.
Yeah, I don't remember making it, but.
I remember you two faking.
You want me to just to me? One.
Dun, dun, dun. Sounds like a satanic ritual.
What I remember is we did it, and then after we recorded the video, I thought it would be better when I was editing it if if I added like a royalty-free beat on top of it, so it would sound like a real-life song. So it's us going like gradually getting louder and louder until we're like bah, 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 bah. and then on top of that it's the royalty free like and it's not like on time at all.
Let's recreate it, Ethan. Except get like real hyped. Get real hyped.
All right, yeah, I was
Ready?
just saying maybe let's do a little song.
All right, Ethan,
for
we gotta
our
do the
outro.
song.
Sam,
Ready?
you used to be like the cool
All right,
Give us a
ready?
beat, Gus. Wait, we need a beat.
Boom, boom, ba, boom, boom, boom.
Way back. There's no way we're doing this.
Yeah, we are. Okay, ready?
Boom, da, boom, 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 da.
Listen to our podcast.
Boom, da.
It's pretty gay. Listen to our podcast.
I eat hay. I am gay. My mom, she likes to fillet my dick.
My mom likes to fillet my genitalia.
What are you even talking? That's like cutting open.
Yeah, boy.
Prying open my third eye.
Prying open my third eye.
If you guys didn't know, that's Third Eye by Tool.
I'll just get a copyright strike for saying that.
For Sam going, prying open my third eye.
Oh my
Let's
god.
all
Bum,
clap.
bum,
Let's
bum,
all
bum, bum,
clap,
bum,
not
bum.
at the same time, but I'll start, then he'll start, then you'll start, and he'll start. So it'll just be a
And then we'll start
never-ending-
making ape
It will be a
noises.
never-ending stream of clapping.
Could you just clap in, or could you snap into your mic? All right.
Okay, you go first, and then
No, we're gonna
doing
we're gonna
snapping.
perform All Star, and you're just gonna keep the beat with your finger.
Hey now, you're an all-star.
No, shut up.
Snap.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kinda dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead.
Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. The boys in the house hit the ground running. Did it make sense not to live for fun? Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back street?
I
You
get
never know if you don't go. You never shine if you don't grow. Cause hey now, you're an outside. Get your game on. Hey now, you're an outside. Get your show on. Get paid. Oh man. Only shooting stars get hot. Dude. It's a cool place, but they say it gets colder. You buckled up now, wait till you get older. A medium man beg to differ, judging by the hole in the satellite picture. The ice we skate is getting pretty thin. The water's getting warm, so you might as well swim. My world's on fire. How about yours? That's why I like it, and I'll never get bored. Oh, hey, yeah, get your game on. Go play. Yeah, and outside, get the show on. Get paid. Only shooting stars make the more. Pop, pop, ba-da, pop, 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 ba-da, ba-da, pop, pop, ba-da, pop. All right, have a nice night.
Oh God! I was just laughing because me and Gus are the only ones who can hear it, and it was clipping so bad the entire time. All right, boys and girls, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Shut up. It was a good time tonight. We had a couple guests. Maybe we'll do it again.
some goofs.
Oh man. Like last time, if you want to do some art for the podcast, you'll probably automatically be featured. What else?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
these.
thanks for sticking with us if you're here at this point. Also, big thanks to what should I say, our Instagram or something? I think it's called
Isn't it
it's
Jaden Arts or
Wonderful
something?
Girl did some art for our podcast, which you're probably looking at right now. And I believe it is Jaden Arts. Yep, that's JADENARTS on Instagram. It's some good old-fashioned memes, and I think there's a drawing of me on there.
Follow her boyos.
All right, thanks a lot, boys and girls. And don't forget to brush your teeth before you go to bed.
And eat vegetables.
See you later.